The phone rang precisely at 5 a.m. I know the time exactly because I was already awake. At 63, sleep doesn't come all at once. It falls in pieces. I was sitting in my old rocking chair by the window, listening to the night slowly give way to a gray dawn. The screen lit up. Jelani. My heart plummeted. My grandson doesn't call at this hour. Ever. What happened, baby? His voice was shaky. Grandma, please just listen to me, okay? Don't wear the red coat today. Wear anything else, just not that one. Promise me. I automatically glanced at the coat rack by the door. Hanging there was my favorite bright red quilted coat. Galani, what are you talking about? Since when is a coat dangerous? Just promise me, he interrupted, his voice breaking. Please, Grandma, don't ask. Not today. You'll understand soon. I love you. The line cut off. I sat for a while longer, the phone against my ear, then slowly lowered it. The house felt different, as if something had been twisted half a turn. I didn't wear the red coat. I pulled out my old brown denim jacket, the elbows worn, the zipper catching. We as grandmothers have a stubborn, instinctual feeling. If a child asks something like that, it's not made up. By 9 o'clock, I was out, walking the familiar dirt path to the state highway to catch the 9:15 county bus. Tuesdays and Fridays are my routine. But that day, the bus wasn't there. From a distance, I saw flashing lights. Police cars, their red and blue strobes tearing at the pale morning. Yellow tape was stretched across our bus shelter. I stopped dead in my tracks. A tall man in a uniform walked quickly toward me. Miss Zora, you can't go any further. Sergeant, I whispered. It was Sergeant Malik Adaro, our county police chief, my high school classmate from over 40 years ago. Zora, there won't be a bus today, he said quietly. There's been an incident. A body was found around 6 o'clock this morning. The world seemed to tilt slightly. A body? Who? No official ID yet. He looked at me, no longer as an old friend, but as an investigator. But Zora, she was wearing a red coat. Bright red. The spitting image of yours. My legs gave way. He caught my elbow and guided me into the front seat of his police cruiser. From inside, I could see the tape, the people in white hazmat suits, and a white bag by the shelter, right where I always stand. Wait, I said. Malik. Jelani called me at 5 a.m. He told me not to wear the red coat. He said that exactly. Malik's face changed. The neighbor's expression became stern, focused. Repeat that verbatim. I did. How the phone lit up, what he asked, how he hung up. Where is Galani right now? He asked. I don't know. He should be at my son Akono's place in the city. Malik's radio crackled. He turned away to listen, his face darkening. Zora, he said slowly. The woman has been identified. It's Ranata Morrow. She worked at the county records office. He paused. And they found documents in the pocket of her coat. A deed for your house and land. An official deed of gift signed over to Akono and Nanima, dated 1 month ago. With your signature. It's already registered. What? I asked, very quietly. Malik, I would never willingly give that away. Never. The signature is a very close match, he said cautiously. The document passed through the county assessment center. Everything is clean on paper. I closed my eyes. Naima's image flashed in my mind. Last Sunday, she was spreading papers in front of me. This is insurance. This is the medical card. Sign here and here. I was tired. I had left my reading glasses inside. Oh, it's just a formality, Mom, she'd said. I signed. I trusted them. I opened my eyes. They could have gotten a signature sample from some old paper of mine. Zora, Malik said gently but firmly. We need to sort this out. We have a body, a woman in a red coat at your bus stop, a deed for your house in her pocket, and your grandson, who warned you at 5 a.m., is now unreachable. Do you understand how this looks? I understood, and it felt colder than the February wind. I was about to get out of the car when I noticed headlights. A dark blue foreign car was parked further down the road. Inside, behind the wheel, was Naima. My daughter-in-law was looking right at us. She wasn't waving or smiling. Her face was calm, almost empty, and in that calmness was something cold, alien. Then she shifted into drive and quietly pulled away. I watched her go, and suddenly I understood two things very clearly. First, I could easily have been the one under that white bag. And second, someone was going to be extremely unhappy that I was still alive. Malik, I said quietly. I think I know who we need to ask about this deed. We drove to the precinct. They led me into a room with pale green walls. Detective Opal Washington sat opposite me, dry, composed, with watchful eyes. I repeated everything. Then I remembered a detail. There was a noise through the phone. It sounded like water nearby. A heavy, echoing sound. She nodded. Your grandson is 19. Has he been in trouble before? No. He's a good kid. His relationship with his parents? I hesitated. With his father, Akono, it's soft. But with Naima, she's one of those who likes to decide for everyone. My house has been a thorn in her side for a long time. A knock came at the door. Malik entered. Zora. Your son is here. And a lawyer. Akono burst in, agitated. Behind him was a thin, slick man in a nice suit. Mom, are you okay? This is Preston Minton, the attorney. Whose lawyer? I asked calmly. I represent the family's interests, Minton said with a professional, vacant smile. Opal turned off the recorder. Miss Zora is free to go for now. In the hallway, Minton started whispering. Akono fussed. Mom, don't answer them anymore. They can twist anything you say. I stopped. Akono, how did you find out about the deed? The one where I supposedly gifted everything to you and Naima. He blinked. Mom, I'm hearing this for the first time. He cut himself off, and I could see the understanding dawning on his face. He drove me home in his SUV. Minton spent the whole drive talking about calming my nerves. As we pulled into the driveway, the answer was sitting right by the porch, Naima's white Lexus. Akono practically ran into the house. I followed him. In the kitchen, Naima was standing by my old document cabinet, rifling through my folders. What are you doing here? Akono demanded. She flinched but composed herself. I'm looking at papers. We need to help Mom sort this out. Those are my papers, I said, stepping closer. Miss Zora, don't start. We have an emergency. They're trying to pin some ridiculous story on you. How did you forge my deed? I asked directly. The smile slid off her face. Are you insane? All I've done is look out for you. Making it easier by kicking me out of my own home? This house is falling apart. Naima exploded. We could have sold it for good money. But no, stubbornness. Principles. Answer the question, Akono interrupted coldly. Did you know about the deed? I saw it, she said, lifting her chin. I was at the records office this morning. Everything is lawful. The gift deed is processed. The signature is notarized. Believe it or not, you signed it yourself. Legally, if a document is properly notarized, saying you didn't understand is not an argument. The court doesn't care. Get out of my house, I said calmly. This is still my house, by the way, she said. Officially, it's already signed over to Akono and me. She turned and walked out, slamming the door. Akono sank into a chair. Mom, I really didn't know. I believed her like an idiot. It's late, but better than never, I said. The phone on the table vibrated. Unknown number. Grandma, I'm sorry. I didn't know it would go this far. Meet me at the old mill on Clear Creek at midnight. Come alone. You're being watched. A postscript, remember our strawberry summer. My heart clenched. Strawberry summer. When Jelani was 7, we planted a huge strawberry patch. It was our code. It was serious. I showed the message to Akono. You're not going, he said immediately. It's a trap. The message says alone, I replied. If Jelani is alive and wrote this, he's in trouble. I'm going. At 11:30, I put on the brown jacket and drove my old Chevrolet Tracker into the night. A couple of miles down the road, foreign taillights flashed in my mirror. A car was following me. You're being watched. I knew these roads. I slowed, then swerved abruptly onto an old logging road, cutting my lights and driving blind by memory. Branches scraped the doors. I burst out onto a secondary road, the foreign headlights gone. The Clear Creek mill loomed dark above the river. I cut the engine. The cold air burned my lungs. Jelani? I called out quietly. A rustle came from above. Then a quiet, "I'm here." I climbed the groaning stairs. On the second floor, in a corner, sat my Galani. Thin, pale, eyes red. He had aged in just a couple of days. "Grandma, I messed up everything. I'm sorry." I hugged him. "Hush. You're alive. That's what matters. Tell me everything." He was trembling. He told me how he'd met Renata Morrow. She was funny, smart, and said she understood his worries about Naima pressuring me. She asked for copies of documents to review. Then he saw her with Naima at a cafe. When he confronted her, she laughed. Naima had hired her to gain his trust and extract information. Then Renata decided Naima wasn't paying her enough, Jelani said, pulling out a crumpled bank statement. Nearly $400,000 had been withdrawn in cash from Naima's account. "For the hit," he said dully. "But why did she wear my coat?" "On Sunday, Renata stole your red coat from the hall. Yesterday morning, she called me. She was crying. She said she was going to the bus stop, wearing your coat, to wait for you and tell you everything. She was being followed. She said if anything happened, I was to warn you not to go out in red." Then there was a noise and the connection was lost. "I only managed to call you at 5. That's all." He reached into his pocket. "I have a flash drive." He placed the small black rectangle in my palm. Renata gave it to me. "It has copies of the deeds, messages with Naima, recordings. There are forged power of attorney documents. And there are letters about our police officer. That Naima was paying a man from our local department. She doesn't name the person." A chill ran down my spine. "We need to give this to Malik," I said. "Grandma, what if it's him? What if we hand it over and it disappears?" A door slammed downstairs. Heavy footsteps. A familiar uniform appeared in the doorway. Lieutenant Kendall Jenkins. "Zora," he said, his mouth smiling but his eyes cold. "Sergeant Adaro asked us to check. Your safety is our priority." Behind him, 2 shadows flickered. Then Naima stepped out, her hair pulled back, her face bare and real. "Hello, Miss Zora," she said calmly. "I asked you not to cause a scene. Jelani has something that belongs to me. The flash drive. You hand everything over now, and you live out your life in the house. Or..." She didn't finish, but everything was clear. "Or I'm involved in a car accident tonight," Jenkins said matter-of-factly. Slippery road. Age. No court would be surprised. "You've made one miscalculation," I said, lifting my phone. The screen was glowing, a red dot indicating recording. "I turned it on as soon as you came up. Everything you've just said is on a cloud backup." Naima flinched. Jenkins took a step forward, his hand sliding toward his holster. The door burst open. "Hands up, everyone!" Malik roared, tumbling into the hall in a ballistic vest, tactical officers behind him. "Jenkins, don't even think about it." Gun on the floor. "Sergeant, this is a misunderstanding." "I didn't give you any such orders," Malik cut him off. He held up his phone. "Ms. Zora is a smart woman. She sent me a voice message. We listened. From the threats onward, it's all recorded." Naima shrieked about illegal detention as they handcuffed her. Malik came over to us. "Zora, you're true to form. You took a terrifying risk." I placed the flash drive in his palm. "Everything Renata collected is here. But part of it is encrypted. The password is Starlight9997. We'll handle it," he said. "This isn't just one bogus deed. This is a big, dirty conspiracy." He looked at me. "Remember, Zora, this isn't over yet. People like Naima have long reach." We left the mill just before dawn. I thought the worst was over. I was wrong. Within 24 hours, I understood the war had only just begun. Naima was released on bail. Her lawyer, Tiana Vance, called me. "We are preparing a civil lawsuit against you for slander and defamation. Furthermore, a petition has been filed to review your mental competency. We are petitioning for a medical evaluation and the appointment of a temporary guardian. Naima Famasi, who already holds power of attorney over your affairs." "I didn't sign any power of attorney." "Your signature is on the document," she said coldly. "Prepare yourself, Miss Zora." A text message followed, "Stop. Sign everything over voluntarily. Or you'll lose everything, including those you love." 24 hours. We sat in the kitchen, cornered. She's trying to have me declared incompetent, I told Akono and Jelani. To erase me as a person. We stopped playing by her rules, I said. She's afraid of something. We have to find it. Jelani dug into Naima's company, Summit Real Estate. He found a pattern, 11 transactions in 18 months, mostly houses of elderly owners. At least 4 of them died within 6 months of the sale. I called Malik. You don't just have my house, you have a pattern. He was silent. Email it. And Zora, the hearing about your competency is tomorrow. Judge Hill. He's fair, but he'll go by the books. I'll try to get you a quick meeting with him before. While we talked, Jelani kept working. Grandma, I found the co-owner of Summit. Preston Minton. Our family lawyer. The phone rang. It was Naima. Tomorrow is the hearing, she began smoothly. We have the deed, the power of attorney, doctor's assessments. The court will rule in my favor. I become your legal guardian. You will be sold off. At this stage, I propose peace. You withdraw all claims, confirm you signed voluntarily, and I'll arrange a room for you in a good assisted living facility. And if not? Then you lose. You are declared incompetent. You will no longer have the right to speak. Not in court, not at home. Naima, I said calmly. One question. Did Ranata scream when she died? A pause. I don't know what you're talking about. I know about Summit. About the 11 transactions? About the old people who suddenly died. About Jenkins. About Minton. Prove it, she snapped. You have nothing. The flash drive? Hilarious. It's been empty for a long time. If you're so confident, I said, why are you calling? Think about it until tomorrow, she said, and hung up. She'll start covering her tracks faster now, Jelani whispered. That's the point, I replied. Let her jump. When a predator gets nervous, it makes mistakes. I looked at them. Let's start with Ranata. Her real name was Verena Harrington. Her grandmother's homestead is in Red Pines. If Ranata wanted to hide something, you couldn't find a better place. Mom, it's getting dark, Akono protested. Do you think her people will sit around until morning? We're leaving now. I called Malik. We're going to Red Pines, to the old Harrington homestead. If you don't hear from me in 3 hours, mobilize everyone. The shed in Red Pines was leaning in gray. We searched with flashlights. Then I saw it, carved with a knife on a partition, Starlight. Renata's childhood horse. I crouched down. A plank at the bottom moved. Behind it was a narrow opening and a tightly wrapped plastic bundle. Inside was a metal box containing a flash drive and a folded note. If you are reading this, I am dead, it began. Asterisk Naima Famasi destroyed my grandmother and forced me to help her. I collected everything so that one day I could sink her. Here are the originals. The password is Starlight 9997. Don't believe any document she presents. Verena Harrington, asterisk. The sound of an engine drifted in. Not one, but several. We retreated into the shadows as 3 cars pulled in. Naima's Lexus, a black sedan, a van. Naima appeared in the doorway, Minton beside her, 2 broad-shouldered men behind them. Mrs. Zora, Naima's voice cut the air. This is private property. You are trespassing. This is Harrington property, I said. Tied up in court. And you? I am the executive of the will. You have a storage device. Hand it over and we guarantee you a peaceful life. A peaceful life in a locked ward. You are not in a position to negotiate, Minton said wearily. What we found does not belong to you, I said. These are Renata's words. And you are very afraid of them. You overestimate yourself, Naima smiled. What you are holding is garbage. Do you still think I'm an old woman who doesn't know how to use a phone? I pulled out my mobile, the screen showing a live broadcast bar. I turned on the stream as soon as you arrived. Everything you're saying is being listened to at the precinct and a couple of news desks. Take one step closer, and it will look very good in court. Sirens wailed in the distance. Are you bluffing? Minton hissed. You'll check in a couple of minutes. The sirens grew closer. Cars burst into the yard, flashing lights, tactical vests. Naima Famasi, Malik's voice boomed. You are under arrest for major fraud, forgery, and witness intimidation. They snapped handcuffs on her. For a second, her gaze met mine. "This is not the end," she said quietly. "You don't understand how these things work." "I understand perfectly well," I replied. "And now those higher up than you will understand too." I handed Malik the box. "The password works. It's not our guess." "If everything is confirmed," he said, "this is a confession from the inside." As the police led the detainees away, my phone vibrated. A text from an unknown number: "Don't celebrate too soon. You've opened something that was better left untouched. Now you all owe us." I showed it to Malik. "The chain goes higher than we thought," he said. "Zora, this isn't just about your house anymore. You're under protection. No more solo heroics." It all ended with papers and weariness. 6 months later, Naima was convicted. Murder, conspiracy, fraud. Life sentence. Minton received a substantial sentence. Jenkins and others went to prison. The forged deeds were declared invalid. The house was returned to me. Okono finalized his divorce quietly. He moved closer, became a simpler, quieter man. Jelani went back to school, studying law part-time, determined to understand the power of documents. I live quietly. I wake up early, light the furnace, make jam. I'm more attentive to paperwork now. I plant strawberries in the spring. We are survivors. We have the right to our symbols. People sometimes ask me why I didn't break. I tell them it's not about being a hero. It's about the habit of fighting for what's mine. At our age, it's convenient for people to think of us as soft targets. But many of us have skin tougher than armor. We've survived more than they've had time to dream up. And if you corner us, we know how to do more than just cry. We know how to count, how to remember, and how to speak up. I simply didn't stay silent that one time. And that was enough.